Hello and welcome back. Today I had an epiphany, an understanding of sorts. I'm standing in the kitchen doing the dishes and bam, there it is. I'm beginning to think that doing the dishes and having epiphanies are somehow correlated, but I digress. In order to truly grasp what Neville Goddard is saying, we must understand that our senses are interpreted through feelings. And when we get an inner feeling, we are compelled to act using our body. Now, this may be a little bit long of an explanation, but please listen to the whole thing because it will give you an understanding of manifestation and actually how to wittingly do it and not be, directed by your habits. Meaning you're manifesting, but you're doing so kind of like with your eyes shut. You're just going wherever it is. So pull up a seat. Let me break it down to its most basic form, because it is in this breakdown that we recognize that we manifest all day, every day, using the very technique of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. What we'll learn today are the following: an understanding of how we are programmed. That continuous or persistent feeling creates the state that you live your life from, abundance, poverty, loneliness, etc. How to recognize what state you're living from. How to change the state during the day and at night. 1. Senses have been conditioned, which means that each sense has a programmed response to a particular stimulation. For instance, the basic programming that the human body comes with: survival. We eat to survive, we sleep to survive, and we procreate to survive. Primary software, if you will. That basic programming of survival can't be overwritten. But as humans, we've learned to thrive. The other programming, education, religion, etc., is what we get from our family, culture, and society. Here are some examples of how our families program us. We learn to look left and right before crossing the street. What to eat or what not to eat. And who we can trust or not trust. All these programs are based on the survival instinct, or it's our primary programming. Family also teaches us about money, and depending on whether you were raised in affluence, moderation, or poverty, it will program you about money. If you heard, money doesn't grow on trees, or money is hard to come by, or you had to deal with food insecurity, then a particular feeling arises when you think about money. You feel scared there won't be enough. Now remember, senses create feelings. You saw there wasn't enough. You sensed the tension of not having enough. So the feeling will cause you to act in one of two ways. Feel fearful of not enough money, or the determination to never not have enough. Did you see how you used your senses as a child to feel and then act? That feeling has become so natural to you that you don't see it anymore. It hasn't changed, even though you're now an adult. If I say money, how does it make you feel? What does that feeling make you want to do? Here's the interesting part, though. You see that feeling about money? It can only attract circumstances that confirm how you feel about money, and thus you continue to act in the same way, unless you change how you feel about money. We'll get to that. Another way we have been programmed by family is with relationships. We're social creatures. Now, what if you were neglected as a child? Every time you turned around, no hugs, no kisses, no one reminding you that you mattered or that you were worthy. The feelings of loneliness, abandonment, feeling unwanted have taken root in you as a child. And now as an adult, you feel afraid that even if you meet someone, they'll leave. Those feelings that you generated as a child haven't gone anywhere. And so they cause you to act in a manner of self-preservation. So you leave before you're left. You hurt before you're hurt. But the thing is, you want a relationship. Because again, we're social creatures. We love the companionship, not being alone. The reason you don't have it yet is because the feelings you currently have about relationships continue to attract exactly how you feel about relationships. Neville Goddard says, you don't attract what you want, you attract how you feel about what you want. Neville also says, To get where we want, we must be willing to let go of our current limitations. Limitations are conditions or programs that were previously placed on us as children. Well, Angela, what do you mean as a child? I'm not a child anymore. No, you're not a child anymore. But the programming still remains because it has not been changed. Here's what Neville says. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to persist in the assumption until it takes the tones of reality, which means be clear about what you want. I'm financially secure. I am wanted. Now assume the feeling that you are financially secure and wanted, which means you become relaxed and calm about money because your needs are met. You smile because you know you're worthy and people want your friendship. Now, how do you do it physically? Every single time you feel as if you do not have enough money or you're lonely, you must redirect the mind and tell it what to do. Every time the mind wanders into that old habit of not enough or loneliness, bring it back to I am financially secure or I am wanted. Every single time you must bring it back. It may seem challenging, but it is only a habit, and all habits are simply programs that can be changed. This is the funny thing. You already do it. But let's continue. Neville says to persist in your assumption until it takes on the tones of reality. Well, how? By continuing to redirect the mind from the old habit, not enough, to I am financially secure, from loneliness to I am wanted. Neville suggests the state akin to sleep to speed up this process. And that's why he says to immobilize your body. Sit down or lay down, get comfortable. And in your imagination, do something that makes you feel that you have your desire. And then when sleep starts to roll up on you, do that action that you did in your imagination that makes you feel as though you have your desire. Again, we are already doing these things every day and every night. All Neville is saying is that you are a pro at following your habits already. But instead, Neville wants us to direct and create our habits instead of blindly following them. So of course it feels like a challenge. I have to change so much. This is so hard. I want to give up. We persist every day, just unconsciously. Think about it. You persist every day in the thought that you don't have enough. Because every time you go to spend money, that thought comes up. You persist in it. So Neville is saying, persist in, I am financially secure, which feels calm and relaxed about money because all your financial needs are met. Persist in that feeling because you already know how to persist. It's the same thing with loneliness. We persist already in the fact that, you see, I told you, nobody wants to be around me. Nobody calls me. Nobody wants to hang out with me. I'm always by myself. You are persisting in that state. Neville also says you cannot pray for wealth from a state of poverty because you only attract that which you are conscious of being. And if you are conscious of being, I don't have enough, or I'm lonely, that's the state you're bringing to yourself every time. You must change the state. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like that small baby. Your mind is like that small baby. No amount of yelling and hollering and abuse is going to make it change. So to create or facilitate that change from one state to another, you have to be consistent. What does consistent mean? It means acting or done in the same way over time, or unchanging in nature, standard, or effect over time. So you have to be consistent. You have to consistently catch the state you don't want to be in because it's natural, right? It's running underneath the surface and guiding you like a compass. And you're just following it so you don't see it. So you have to consistently catch it like the baby. And when you catch it, you have to bring it to where you want it to be instead. Just redirect it. So now what does the word persist mean? Because Neville uses that word a lot. Persist means to continue firmly or stubbornly in an opinion or a course of action in spite of difficulty, opposition, or failure. So, consistently redirect your mind to the state you want to be in, and then persist in it. A dog with a bone you don't let go, because you are already doing it. All you got to do is change the direction you're doing it in. That's it. Listen, Neville is giving you your power back, because your power comes when you consciously create the life that you want. That is where your power comes from, as opposed to just going with how you've always done it, because it's habits, the tracks that have been laid down in your mind already. It's either you want to be free or you want to be enslaved. As I said before, to get where you want, you must be willing to let go of your current limitations. Because the first law that governs the universe, all is mind. It only happens there. And then the body is compelled to act. Senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch create feelings that make us do something. And whichever sense you had to rely on the most as a child for your survival is the sense that is the strongest. I'm trusting that things have become more clear from this explanation. If not, leave a comment and we'll discuss further. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We're all on this journey together, so we may as well get to know each other better. Much love.